What's going on YouTube? I'm Darian, man. I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy. We talk about fragrances on this channel, but I also like to throw on some style tips for you guys as well, and a little bit on grooming. So if you're into that, make sure you hit subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications by hitting that bell icon as well, so that way, anytime a new video is uploaded, you get notified. All right, guys, we're going to talk about today. I got a great topic for you, but really quick, this is that Tom Ford suit that I was telling you guys about. This is my first time going with what you call this a notch lapel. By nature, I'm more of a peak lapel guy, but still love this suit. It's a dark charcoal pinstripe. And just know, guys, anytime I'm rocking Tom Ford, everything is Tom Ford. The suit, the tie, the shirt, the pocket square, and the underwear. See how that rhymes? Pocket square, and get it? Pocket square. Oh, never mind. But anyway, gentlemen, I am loving this ensemble, man. And we're going to be getting into some more about style, about grooming and the whole nine. I got something that's coming up, guys, and really soon I'm going to be making an announcement about it. So stay tuned over the next week or so, maybe next 2 weeks, you're going to hear about something that I'm doing, and I'm going to see which one of you guys out here are interested. But just keep your ears, you know, and eyes to the streets and on the videos, and you'll hear about it. Because I want as many of you as that would like to be able to participate in this, so keep your ears open. But anyway, today, guys, I'm going to be talking about 10 niche fragrances that I think every guy should smell, and honestly, every guy, if you're into niche fragrances, should own these 10 niche fragrances. I'm going to include these fragrances, or they made the list, I would say, because they have the T factor, not T-E-A, like the tea that you drink, but the T-Y factor. All right, I'm talking about the wearability, the versatility, and the likability factor. All right, so all these fragrances really offer some great value for the money, and they're also very popular niche fragrances as well. So whether you've been into fragrances for a few minutes or for a few years, if you haven't heard about them, you will hear about these fragrances. They've gotten a lot of hype over the course of time, and in my humble opinion, it has been all worth it. You cannot go wrong with any of these fragrances, so we're going to be talking about that today. So if you want to see what's on this list, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to jump right into this video. Again, I always want to open it up by saying, if you want to check any of these out, I scour the internet. YouTube shopping helps me to do that, where I leave the links. You'll see a link down here that says products, and I'll have a link down below where you can check these out if you want to check out any of these fragrances. But again, in my humble opinion, I think these are niche fragrances that every guy should at least smell. I think you should own them as well because of all those factors that I mentioned earlier, but at least smell these fragrances. So the first one up is from a very popular niche brand, and that is the brand of Xerjoff, and this fragrance is called Naxos. This is Naxos, man. What you're getting with this one, man, is lavender, honey, cinnamon, tobacco, and tonka bean. This, my gosh, and I'm gonna say this a lot. I don't have the words to describe how good this fragrance is. My favorite designer fragrance of all time, Pure Havane. And this is a very similar scent profile, but again, this is a lot, that lavender give that freshness to it, that kind of clean freshness to this fragrance that you don't really get that with Pure Havane. But this stuff is what fragrances should be about, in my humble opinion, man. Just how good it is, the quality of this fragrance. I mean, when you smell this fragrance, man, and you smell something that's not expensive, I'll say it that way. This is one of those fragrances you can really tell the difference in quality. So well done. Masterpiece, in my humble opinion, man. This is one, again, that offers the T factor on, you know, on all across the board. The popularity, the wearability, versatility, and likability factor is there with this fragrance. So definitely one that you need to put your nose on it, man. This is a gift to your nose. It is from the brand of Xerjoff, and this one is called Naxos. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from the brand of Parfums, and it definitely passes the T test as well. This one is called Elysium. Elysium, this is grapefruit, this is vetiver, juniper berries, black currant. I would say apple and leather are some of the main notes in this as well. You guys know that Parfums fragrances have an encyclopedia long worth of notes in them, but those to me would be the primary notes. There is a slight similarity to Aventus with this fragrance, but this is definitely different. This does its own thing, especially, again, I would highlight that leather, vetiver, and juniper berry notes in this fragrance. Those three are probably the most prominent notes to my nose. So it just has this air of class about it. Again, the versatility factor on this one is through the roof, man. I mean, again, seasons, reasons, and occasions, this really checks all of the boxes, and it smells great. And of course, that's what we are most concerned about when we wear a fragrance. How great does it smell? Well, this one smells phenomenal. So check it out. This is a must-have, a must-own, in my humble opinion, from the brand of Parfums. Again, this one is called Elysium. All right, guys, another classic fragrance in the community that passes the T test. The versatility, likability, popularity, and wearability factor is all here with this fragrance, and this is called Reflection, man, from Homme. This is the original, man. This is Petitgrain Jasmine, Neroli, or Sandalwood. Jesus Christ, this is good. This is good. Now, guys, you know, I talk a lot about Reflection 45, which adds a little bit of dirtiness to this fragrance, a little bit of earthy, dirty resinous nuances to that, but this is still so good, man. When I go back to it, I think of the two, this one, of course, is even more safe to say it that way. But this stuff, I cannot tell you how good this is. When the spring and summertime come around, this is something I always rock. Of course, the dents don't lie. Have a nice dent in this bottle. This is one of the originals as well. This is not a magnetic cap. This is old school. And this stuff is phenomenal, man. Again, I don't think this is a fragrance that not many people smell and be offended by at all. It just has that, you know, again, that versatility thing and that likability factor is like through the roof on this fragrance. It just smells phenomenal. Man, everybody should have this. Everybody should put their nose on it from the brand of Homme. Classic, masterpiece, Reflection, man. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from the brand of Serge Lutens, and this is Chergui. This is Chergui. This is tobacco leaves, honey, hay, sandalwood, iris, and amber. This is so good. Oh my gosh, guys, listen. This is so good. I don't think it's just the color, but when I smell this fragrance, it just makes me think about fine wine. I don't know why that particular reference or thoughts or imagery or whatever the case is comes to my mind when I smell this fragrance. It's just so good. It definitely has some powdery touches to it here, but the main notes to my nose is gonna be that honey amber combination, again, with the powdery nuances kind of in between. Oh man, so classically good and definitely worthy of all of the praise and the accolades that it has received. Do yourself a favor, guys, and get your nose on this masterpiece as well. From the brand of Serge Lutens, this is called Chergui. Another fragrance here, guys, that I think definitely passes the T test and everybody needs to have and sample. Kind of gained its popularity by a communication that was put out, or a thought process that it smelled like another fragrance. And to me, that was actually inaccurate, but it did help to draw a lot of interest to this fragrance and help to increase its popularity and made a lot of people want to inquire about it. And once they got it, they found out it may not smell more so like the fragrance that people talk about, but it is really good in its own right. From the brand of Mancera, Cedrat Boisé. Cedrat Boisé, so good. Lemon, black currant, cedar wood, leather, and oak moss are some of the main notes in this. And again, the fragrance I'm talking about is Creed Aventus. Obviously, when it first came out, so many people said that it smelled like Creed Aventus. That's misinformation. It doesn't really resemble Aventus to me. Again, maybe 10, 15%. The longer I've had this fragrance, the more farther away it smells from Acqu Di Ventus. But ultimately, you do get like a nice lemony pineapple kind of opening, and some of the notes that made the Ventus very popular, like black currant. But when this dries down, man, this has a very prominent note of leather. And to me, the leather was always the big differentiating factor or note that really made this very different from Acqu Di Ventus. But in its own right, a phenomenal fragrance that everybody should try. Definitely passes the T test from the brand of Mancera Chidrat Brase. All right, guys, sometimes fragrances can be a victim of its own popularity, and hate it or love it, this is one of the most popular fragrances now in the world. People that have been into fragrances for 5 minutes and 5 years know about this fragrance coming in. It is from the brand of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and this is Baccarat Rouge 540. And what you're gonna get with this one, at least this one has bitter almond, but saffron, ambergris, and fir resins are some of the main notes in this fragrance. This is the Extrait de Parfum. It comes in a red bottle. The original is a clear bottle with red appointments on the front of the bottle. But this, guys, you can't deny, you know, how popular this fragrance is. Fragrances become popular for a reason. It's not because in most instances they are trash to most people, it's because they are phenomenal. And that fragrance is what this fragrance is all about. It is a phenomenal fragrance. Yes, is it over talked about, you know what I mean, over analyzed in the whole nine? Yes, I would say so, but again, doesn't take away from how great the fragrance is. You can always tell how popular a fragrance is because most fragrances now that are great have at least 697 clones, and this one probably has about 698 clones at this point. Phenomenal scent, passes the T test, is popular, so the popularity, the wearability, the likability, and the versatility is here on this fragrance. You can't deny how good it is. From the brand of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, Baccarat Rouge 540. All right, guys, another fragrance that definitely deserves a place on this list because it passes the T test. This is from the brand of Parfums de Marly. This is Layton. This is Layton, man. So good, so good. Lavender, apple, vanilla, cardamom, and sandalwood are some of the main notes. Oh, this is so good. This has a little bit of spiciness in the opening too, and primarily that's that cardamom in here. So it's spicy, it's sweet, creamy, and of course the vanilla is probably the main note in here. Man, guys, you know, this is something, of course, when you get so many fragrances, I don't wear this as much as I used to, but anytime I do wear it and come back to it, I'm reminded of why so many people fell in love with this fragrance. Definitely warranted. The hype was and is still real on this particular fragrance from Parfums de Marly. So do yourself a favor, man. If you haven't, for whatever reason at this point, I don't know what that would be. If you haven't checked it out, just do yourself a favor and do it. From the brand of Parfums de Marly, this is Layton. All right, guys, the next fragrance comes from the brand of by Kilian, and this is Angel's Share. Angel's Share. This is praline, oakwood, cognac, cinnamon, and vanilla. Jesus, man. This is so good. This is so good, man. Look, man, look, anybody that loves boozy fragrances and loves gourmands, you have to smell this stuff. It is so good as beyond description, in my humble opinion. Some of my favorite notes in perfumery kind of all, you know, kind of put into one fragrance. It's hard not to like it for me. Again, very, very hyped fragrance. The hype was very, very authentic and real behind this scent. It is just, again, a joy to your nose, all right? It's a joy to your nose. It's a joy to smell. It's a joy to wear. It is a perfect 10 out of 10 masterpiece fragrance that I think everybody should at least experience. From the brand of Kilian, check it out. It's worth it. Angel Share. All right, guys, this next fragrance comes from one of my favorite niche brands, and I'm kind of in a, you know, in a class all by myself almost when it comes to that. But this fragrance brand is Bond Number 9. I think Bond Number 9 is the second niche brand I really explored, really in depth behind the brand of Creed. But this one, guys, Bleecker Street. Do yourself a favor and check it out. Prints in a bottle. This is violet leaves. This is blueberry, oak moss, cinnamon, vanilla, and caramel. Gosh, this is good, man. This is so good. Basically, what you've gotten here is this very green fragrance and a very gourmand fragrance combined into one. The violet leaves and the oak moss, very green, very masculine notes. And then you have these very, again, sweet, gourmand elements that come from the things like vanilla, caramel, and praline with the blueberry kind of, which blueberry gives a little bit of tartness there because it actually, and that's what works so well with the green notes. This stuff is just masterfully done, man. One, of course, as I've been saying, that you just got to get your nose on. I love this stuff. It's going to always be in my collection. And all the hype, any hype that this fragrance has ever got, it's been warranted. Check it out from the brand of Bond number 9. Prints in a bottle, Bleecker Street. And last but not least, I hate to be anticlimactic, but you know it was coming, guys. Aventus, pineapple, apple, black currant, birch, vanilla, musk, some of the main notes in this. And this is probably the most popular fragrance in the world. And again, just like I said when I talked about Baccarat Rouge 540, sometimes you can be a victim of your own popularity. There's probably 3,682 clones or inspired by fragrances out there on the market now with this. And for some people in their minds, that kind of watered down the allure of getting this fragrance. So many people prefer clones nowadays. In the whole nine. But anyway, you guys kind of know the story, what happens when a fragrance is super popular. And then so many clones and fragrances become available that smell just like it because they copy the DNA. But you got to think about it on the other side of the spectrum and what that means for the fragrance itself. Why did that happen? Because just like the case with Aventus, the fragrance is dynamite. And when it came out in 2010, it was an absolute game changer. So I think that still everybody should have this in their collection. This is just one of those things you have to have in your collection. Obviously, unless you're just not a fan of it, but anybody else, you know, this is one you have to have. Even if you got clones and stuff like that, at least have a bottle of the original on this one. From the brand of Creed, this is Aventus. And really quick before I go, guys, a fragrance is not really a fragrance. From the brand of Eccentric Molecules, Molecule 01. This is really ISOE Super. It is great by itself. It's very soft. It plays tricks with your mind. It almost seems like it's not there, but it is. Get a lot of compliments on this stuff. You can blend, you can mix it with any fragrance almost. It increases the performance and the likability of it. Just a dynamite niche fragrance that you need to have. And it's a fragrance, but it's not really a fragrance, but it is a fragrance. And that's why I just threw it in really quick as an honorable mention. But it is fantastic, man. You got to experience this stuff. From the brand of Eccentric Molecules. This is Molecule 01. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Please, guys, make sure you're sharing the content out to other folks that you think could find some value in it. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and attention to these videos. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.